Adrien Broner has put Eddie Hearn on blast. Hearn offered Adrien Broner a free fight deal, as you can see here. The first fight in September with a $2 million purse. The second fight, March 2019, with a $2.25 million purse. The third fight, September 2019, with a $2.5 million purse. Broner says, "I'm sorry, Eddie Hearn, you're a good guy and all, but you tried to give me a worse deal than Rock Nation offered me. Hashtag slave deal." So, Broner putting him on blast very publicly and turning it down. Some of the comments are saying, "Broner, are you crazy? You ain't going to get more than that. You're coming off, you know, not so great performances, losses, and all that kind of business." Well, Broner, as he alluded to there, turned down Rock Nation, who offered him even more money than this. So I don't know whether Broner's just stupid or whether he is actually very smart when it comes to knowing what he's worth and knowing what he can actually get. At the end of the day, he's the one receiving the money in the bank, not me and you. So God knows. Adrien Broner is one of the most popular fighters in the United States. And I know it's strange because he hasn't really won a major fight in a very long time. But the casual fans in America are obsessed with Adrien Broner. You could be talking to an American person or watching an American, whatever, internet stream, listening to a radio show, and these are people who really don't know anything about boxing, but they know who Adrien Broner is. Adrien Broner is the embodiment of the world star generation in the United States. He's really the poster boy, the boxing poster boy for the world star generation. So they know Broner, and that's why he's still a commodity. Rightly or wrongly, he is in America. And Eddie Hearn really needs to pull out all the stops to sign this man. This guy could actually make the difference between the zone in terms of boxing succeeding in the United States and not. Yeah, I think Adrien Broner is that crucial because people follow him, even other fighters follow him, and he brings a buzz wherever he goes. So, as strange as this for me to say, I do actually think it's worth Eddie Hearn increasing the amount of money he's willing to offer Adrien Broner. Yeah, substantially increasing it. Because, again, Broner is not, at this point, an elite fighter, but the casuals love him. And he will attract other people that will want to fight on his undercard, especially young fighters that want to associate with Broner. Look at someone like Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is in a better position than Adrien Broner in terms of the fact that he's undefeated. He's been a world champion. I think he is a world champion right now, right? So he's in a better position than Broner, but he is still kind of following Broner. I know they've been training together and all this kind of business. Broner has a buzz around him in American pop culture, in American world star, ghetto, youth, hip hop culture. He's got a big following and a big buzz around him. Adrien Broner is more well known in the United States than Deontay Wilder is, which is insane, but that's how it goes. So I think Eddie Hearn needs to increase his offer substantially if he wants this DAZN platform to actually work in the US. And the way it's looking at the moment, Eddie Hearn's going to have problems. He's going to have problems because to be publicly outed like this by Broner, this is bad PR for Eddie Hearn. This is not going to encourage other fighters. I mean, some fighters who have never seen purses like this, they might be encouraged. But a lot of fighters are actually going to be put off by Hearn being put on blast like this. Not because the money is that bad. It's not that bad. It's decent. But because of the way Adrien Broner has done it, he'll just convince people that they're supposed to be getting paid more than this. Adrien Broner can actually influence other fighters into deluding themselves that they're worth more than this. Yeah. And there have been other fighters as well, like the Charlos, who have kind of put Eddie Hearn on blast and, acted like they're not really interested in signing with him. So there's going to be a tipping point. If Eddie Hearn is going to make this DAZN venture work, then he's going to have to sign the right fighter. And once he signs the right fighter, a relevant fighter, a fighter who has a buzz around them, once he signs them to DAZN, then you'll probably see a load of other signings shortly afterwards. But until he gets a major name, he's going to be in trouble. And I think there is a lot of patriotism going on in America, where they just look at a British guy coming over and they're not interested in working with a British guy. I think a lot of it is illogical. A lot of it is this misplaced sense of patriotism. But that's what it is, man. Eddie Hearn has to try and deal with that. This misplaced sense of patriotism. The Americans have closed ranks. The business people in America. Can you imagine all the other promoters and managers whispering in their fighters' ears and telling them don't sign with Eddie Hearn? If Al Heyman had a lot of people against him in the United States in terms of boxing, which he definitely did, Eddie Hearn is going to have that level of prejudice, if you want to call it that. He's going to have that level of prejudice times 10 because he's a foreigner coming from a different country. He's brash. He's kind of putting down other promoters. The Americans don't like that. They don't like it. And even a lot of the fighters don't like it. It's not just other promoters and business people within boxing in the United States. The actual fighters don't like Eddie Hearn's attitude. And that is, I think, causing some of them to behave irrationally when it comes to Eddie Hearn's deals. Because I think he's going to be offering a lot of fighters deals which they won't get elsewhere. Better deals than they'll get elsewhere. I'm not saying all fighters, but a lot of them I think he will. But they're going to turn it down through some misplaced sense of patriotism and people whispering in their ear and telling them nonsense. One of the things that Eddie Hearn is offering is activity, for fighters to stay active. Broner here to fight twice in 2019, once in 2018, a schedule. One thing Richard Schaefer did say, to be fair, is Richard Schaefer said that fighters' purses with Eddie Hearn and DAZN are basically capped, right? And that's a problem because, okay, let's say for Adrien Broner's first fight, 2 mil. If it was a 1-fight deal, Broner might take it. But let's say he wins that fight and goes on to the second fight. He's only making, 250 grand more than he did for the first fight. Whereas if it was only a 1-fight deal and it was a major win for his first fight, he could negotiate a much bigger purse for the second fight, double, triple maybe, if it was a significant win. But this format caps the purses. So you can't earn much more, And again, it depends where you are in your career. If you're an Adrien Broner, a guy who's earned bigger purses than this, then you can look at this and say, nah, that's BS, because my market value can increase dramatically just with one big win. So it's not worth signing this kind of free fight deal. Whereas another fighter, let's say, I don't know, an Erislandy Lara when he was still champion, somebody like that, a champion who nobody really looks at. That kind of guy probably would sign a free fight deal. They say, well, boy, I ain't earning this kind of money now, so I'm only gonna have 3 routine defenses probably in the next year or so. So I'm not gonna be in any super fights, unfortunately. So I might as well sign this free fight deal with Hearn, because at least it guarantees me some decent purses for routine defenses, But yeah, it just depends what kind of situation you're in. Anyway, let me know how you feel about this in the comment section below. Is Eddie Hearn's venture going to fail? And I did mention in my initial video when Eddie Hearn announced this venture, I said he might find it difficult. He might find it difficult in America with their patriotism and all that kind of stuff. He might find it difficult, man. We'll see. Let me know how you feel. It's happening. I'm out.